We'll start by chanting Om 3 times, followed by the invocation mantras. सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. We are studying chapter 3 of Karma Yoga. No, chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita called Karma Yoga. Now, the essential teaching of Bhagavan regarding Karma Yoga was complete by verse number 30. Okay. Then, in verse number, in shlokas 31 and 32, Bhagavan said, what are the benefit of this, following this teaching, and what is the impact of not following this? He says that when we follow Karma Yoga, what happens? With Shraddha, we'll be free from karma. Karma means here, we're talking about karma phala. Now, when we are freed from karma phala means what? There's no more karma phala. Then that means there's no papa punyas, nothing to experience, nothing to do, nowhere. So that means moksha. Okay. Now, why? Because karma yoga helps us with reducing our existing karma phala and without adding any new karma. But on the other hand, in the 32nd shloka, he says, if you don't believe in it, okay, or you doubt this teaching, okay, so then what happens? You will continue to do what you're going to do. If I'm continuing to do what I'm going to do, what happens? I remain in samsara. Puja Guruji Samtejamananda would say something like, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got, or some variation of that. Okay, so if I continue to behave exactly the way I was behaving yesterday, day before, year before, life before, this yuga, not this yuga, this current age of Brahmaji is about 200 trillion years or something. Okay, he's like half age, 50 years. Okay, Brahmaji hit just his 50th birthday happened, and it's the first day half time. Okay, like midday after his 50 years. That is what current age of Brahmaji. Okay, the age of current Brahmaji. So that means that he has got 50 more years to go. And this is like 200 plus trillion years. So we go like this for another 200 trillion years.
200 trillion years, huh?
Yeah. Okay. And 200 plus something, some rough number is there. Okay. I don't recall the exact number.
That's okay.
Okay. And we know, like, this whole life itself feel like, it is too much. Okay. So, and we will go through like that. And when Brahmaji, when the current life, the term of the current Brahmaji ends, does it mean that we all got moksha? No, no, no. We don't get any moksha. All we do is that we go into Karana form. Okay, Karana Sharira form. That means that the causal body form. We exist there like that until next Brahmaji comes, and then again we'll go for another 200 trillion, 400 trillion years. We can keep going. So, meaning we will be in samsara alone. Therefore, okay, now given this, the choice is yours, right? Bhagavan is not saying like, I'm going to punish you or something like that if you don't follow me. Our own actions will, our own karmas will give karma phala, and it continues giving that, right? So then what happens if you think, well, I don't need to do this karma yoga and all of that. I understand the value of karma yoga, but see the thing that it says, don't do kamya karma. Kamya karma means desire-based actions. Why? Why is it? Why are we being prohibited from doing karma karma? Meaning that why are we advised? Why are we being advised for not doing karma karma? Because karma karma is based upon raga dvesha, right? Now, when no, I want to do karma karma, but I'll keep my raga dveshas in control. So, Lord Krishna says, सदृष्टं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृते ज्ञानवान् अपि प्रकृतिर्यान्ति भूतानि निग्रह किं करिष्यति. Even a realized master too will, well, from a body perspective, he is following the dharma of the prakriti dharma of the body, meaning all creatures, all of us, we go through our own nature. So, thinking that I am going to have nigraha means restraint, okay, control, self-control. Okay, what can it do? Okay, it is not going to do anything. So this kind of a nigraha kim karishati, this is what we call as kaku prashna, rhetorical question.
Mhm.
That is no. Okay, nothing, you're not going to accomplish anything. Okay, so why? Because indriyasya ragadvesho vyavasthito tayor vashavagacheto asya paripanthinam. Because these indriyas are running, each of these indriyas are running behind the objects of their domain. Meaning eyes are running behind the form, ears are running behind the sound, nose is running behind the smell,
Fragrance.
okay? All of those, right? Mouth wants food, okay? And this sharira, the skin wants sukha, happiness. How? There is a sukha, one kind of sukha is, like I lie down in a nice bed, that is a kind of sukha. Okay? I get the pleasure of another skin right next to me, that is another sukha. All of these are sukhas. And which ones are, how are we running this? I mean, why are we running like this? Okay, based on what we like. Okay, and what we like and what we dislike are what we call as raga and dvesha. And how are these raga dvesha? They are like highway robbers. Highway robbers with respect to what? With respect to our spiritual progress. When just like highway robbers, mm, there's actually there's a term called Nilu Dopidi in Telugu. Okay, so Nilu Dopidi means they make you stand right there and empty everything from your pocket. Okay, so that means that it is not just your pocket. Okay, so like say for example, uh, men are there, right? Okay, so okay, show me your hands. Okay, give those rings. Okay, give this watch. Women, okay. Oh, you have those earrings, take that out. Okay, so there's something in your head, take it out. Around the neck, take it out, all of that. And so that is what they call as Nilu Dopidi. So, in fact, there would be a manat, manat, right? A promise that you make to Bhagwan. So, there is like not everybody does that. So, some people do this, that they'll come to Tirupati. Tirupati is a major temple in Andhra Pradesh. And they themselves will do Nilu Dopidi for Bhagwan, meaning like I'll come and whatever is on my body, I'll give it to you, Bhagwan. Okay.
Mhm.
So that means that usually, like, I mean, what happens is that mm, in like in a traditional days, I mean, like in like maybe up to even now, maybe they may be varying, but like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, it is very common for women of the household to wear lot of gold on their body all day long, all days, so 365 days, right? 7 by 24 by 365 they would wear, right? So uh, so they would give all of that. Then that means that you need to start from scratch. So here in this way, highway robbery, okay, these highway robbers, what they are going to loot is all our spiritual progress. Okay, so
All our what?
Spiritual progress.
Oh, spiritual progress. Okay.
yeah, okay. So now so until this point we covered last session. So today we are going to go to the obviously to the next portion, right? Okay. So what is the next portion is the next shloka. Actually, we did chant this shloka also last week, correct? The Shrayan Swadharma Vigunaha, did we chant or did we just speak about it?
I think we chanted it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we'll chant again. Okay. So whoever did not chant last time, chant it today. Okay. So
I have a clarifying question though.
go ahead.
So, as you mentioned that if you follow the Karma Yoga teachings, uh, with Shraddha, it will free you of karma,
Mhm.
aka moksha. So, are we correct in saying, and this is, I think you explained it in the past, but are we correct in filling the gaps, suggesting that Karma Yoga indeed leads to Antakara and Shuddhi, and that leads to Jnanam, is what then leads us to moksha?
Yeah.
And as you mentioned that all the Sanchit karma gets burned because there's no kartutvam, there is no one to own them anymore now that a person has gotten the gnanam,
Mhm.
that the prarabdha karma certainly will remain and until the Vidya Mukti. As far as the agami karma is concerned, um, again, is that true that there is no kartutvam and therefore there is no agami karma either, but they don't accumulate as a Sanchit karma?
So, so what happens is that when a jnani realizes, okay, when a jnani realizes all karmas are gone. Sanchita is
Not,
gone.
not the prarabdha karma, right?
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Sanchita is gone. Prarabdha is gone. Agami is gone. All three are gone. For who? For jnani. Now, however, jnani has that body.
Mm-hmm.
That body has prarabdha.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Okay. And until the prarabdha karma for that body is not finished, that body is not going to fall. But jnani is not identified with that body.
Mm.
Okay. There is no identification for that jnani with that body at all in any formal manner. So, what happens to that body? What does he care? Okay. In Manisha Panchakam, I think it says, actually, even in Tattva also it says, whether he uh, he dies in Kashi, okay, or whether he dies in, uh, like a a butchering place, what difference does it make? Okay, because he has already attained jnana. The moment he attained jnana, there's no thing, okay, there's no identification with that body anymore. Where that body falls or what does it matter? Because that body came from pancha Mahabhutas, and it is going to dissipate into Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. It is for us Ajnanis, we say like, oh, that is the body of our Guru. Okay. Oh, we need to do this karma, that karma, this way. It has to be cremated in this manner, or it has to be buried in this manner. It has to be buried in seated way, or it has to be put in seat in a chair and tied in a chair and put it in wash in a river is a jala samadhi and a jala samadhi or bhu samadhi. Okay, so all of that is for who? That is the shishyas who are not realized. They are the ones who are thinking about this way. Okay? But jnani, nothing. And from our scriptures, what our scriptures say is that prarabdha karma is experienced by that body. I mean, sorry, that body. The agami karma, what happens is that is distributed between his followers and his critics.
Oh,
Okay, anything that is good, I mean, like, see, like everybody has got good prarabdha and, I mean, like, good and bad things, right? In the in their bag in the agami karma also. So the bad things will go to his critics, and good karmas will go to his devotees. So that is why when you are in the presence of a Mahatma, a Jivan Mukta, you feel peace. Why do you feel peace? That means that what happened is that there is some bad karmas have gone away. Because of the bad karma, because of the loss of bad karma, suddenly there is a level of chitta shuddhi that has come right into your mind. Because of that chitta shuddhi, there is a clarity of thought and there is a shanti. That is what we experience. That is why whenever we see a great Mahatma, we experience that peace of mind and all of that. Okay?
thank
So, shall we go to the shloka?
you. Yes.
So, I'll break down the words just in case if you forgot. Shreyan Swadharmo, that has got two words, Shreyan and Swadharmaha. Okay, so it becomes Shreyan Swadharmaha. Vigunaha. Okay, Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Okay, Paradharmat Swa Anushtitat or Swanushtitat. Okay, Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. That is actually Paradharmaha Bhayavaha. Bhaya Avaha. This is what it is. So, please repeat after me. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha.
Shreya Sadvadvo Vignaha
Paradharma Swanushtitat.
Paradharma Swanishtatat
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha.
Sudharme Nidiyam Shreya
Paradharmo Bhayavaha.
Paradharmo Bhayavaya
Bhayavaha.
Bhayavaha.
Okay. So, what happens is that now here this Swadharma, the word Swadharma has come. Okay, so we need to understand what is the relationship between Raga Dveshas have come, and then he's talking about Dharma. Bhagavan is talking about Dharma, right? Because essentially what this shloka is saying that you do your own duty, even if it is bad duty. Okay? Even if other person's duty is good, don't do it. Okay? While doing your duty, if you die, that is fine. If you're doing others' duty, it is dangerous. Okay? That's a simplified translation. So now he talked about Raga Dvesha and then he suddenly jumped into Dharma, Swadharma. Okay? What is the relationship? See, what happens is Now, when it is advised not to fall under the control of Ragadvesha, yeah, Ragadvesha don't fall, happen only to people and objects. Okay? See, in Arjuna's case, he hates Duryodhana, likes Bhishma Drona. But I may like uh, a particular sabzi or a particular dish, and I may not like another dish. Okay, so people and objects is one thing, but also this ragadvesha occurs towards our duties, our qualities, our nature, etc. Also,
Yes.
okay. Now, when that happens, why not I do that? Because that is also dharma. Okay, like let us say, in this context, we need to understand the dharma that is different for each of us, and then there's dharma that is common for all of us.
Mhm.
So, dharma that is different for all of us is what we call as ashrama dharma or varna dharma, etc. So, ashrama dharma, for example, we have four ashramas, right? Brahmacharya, Gruhastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. Now, for a Gruhastha dharma is what? Earning money. Gruhastha also means having spouse. So, having the pleasure with spouse. Now, looking at that, if a child who's a brahmacharya, in brahmacharya, if they decide that, okay, I'll do Gruhastha dharma, what happens? It's a problem. Why is it a problem? Because now, I mean, especially in this day and age and in this country, if I'm telling this, if I said this to a high schooler, 10 hands will rise and say like, what is the problem with that? Okay, because two things, right? They are also like especially like here, high schoolers they do part-time jobs and earn money, and everyone has a girlfriend or boyfriend. So what is wrong with that? See, as a brahmachari, your focus must be studies. Studies requires sattva guna. Okay? For clarity of thought, to have clarity of thought, studies are sattva pradhana. However, earning money, how much am I going to make out of this, etc., that is all rajoguna pradhana. Okay? Similarly, having a a boyfriend or a girlfriend, that is also leads to a lot of rajas. Okay. And that rajas, whether in this way or that way, is going to impact the studies. Okay. Because study. Okay. So now, similarly, on the like it is also like there's a lifelong learning kind of a thing is there, etc., etc. So now a sannyasi thinks that okay, I like gruhastha, then he's not a sannyasi. Okay, grihastha ashrama. So the and in a day-to-day life, okay, so if you leave about ashrama dharma, right? Now imagine uh, there is uh, I mean, actually, it's from Akhandananda ji gives a nice example. If there's a traffic cop, okay, who is directing traffic, and while he is directing the traffic, an accident happened and someone got hurt. Okay. Now, if he thinks that, oh, okay, so I need to take this person to hospital and he goes away, what happens to the traffic?
Makes it worse, yeah.
Okay. So even though he wants to do other person's duty, that is not correct. Okay. Okay, so now similarly, if a doctor comes out of the hospital and he tries to control traffic, what happens? He is here and the patients in the hospital suffer. Okay. So like this, what happens is that based upon each of our nature, we are classified with, I mean, of course, stage of life, it is ashrama, and nature, based upon our nature, we are also classified as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That we'll study in chapter 4. Okay. And these are based upon guna and karma. Okay. How someone is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or Shudra is based upon guna or karma, not based upon Janma. So that means just because I'm a son of a Brahmana or a son of a Shudra, I don't become Brahmana or Shudra. I become a Brahmana or a Shudra based upon my mental status. Okay, my gunas. So now if my guna is predominantly sattvika, okay, if my gunas are predominantly sattvika, what kind of roles I am suitable?
Brahmin.
Some kind of advisory roles, okay, where some kind of design roles, etc., where the mind, okay, the creativity or the intelligence is put in forefront. So, such as R&D, research and development, scientists, etc. But on the other hand, if my mind is rajasic, okay, it has got more rajas, so that means that my roles should be something which requires lot of dynamism. So that means, like, travel here, go there, come back here, okay, talk to 100 people, come to consensus, being a leader and all of that. So leadership role, sales role, all of those kind of things, right? That is there, right? Now, if there's a mixture of sattva and rajas, then think about leaders, because now you want the benefit of everyone, so you want to be a leader and ensure, like, a greater good comes out of it. But if you have a lot of rajas, but that rajas is primarily meant for your own benefit, so then that means that put in a role where you can earn a lot of money for yourself, right? So that is Vaishya. And if our primary guna is tamas, okay, where I'll only do as much as I can. So then, like, I need someone to tell me and give me next set of work. So in that case, what happens? I need to be in service of something, okay? In service of somebody, where someone is constantly telling me what to do, right? Then I follow those instructions. As soon as those instructions are done, I clock out and go to sleep, right? So this is what these gunas are, right? Now, if you are sattva guna, and somewhere there's a big problem, you're thinking, and this guy who has got tamo guna, who clocked out at 5 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock he is happily enjoying with watching TV in front or whatever, right? And you look at him and, like, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And if you want to go do that, what happens? There is you cannot manage that.
No.
Okay. Because you are that like, you are the designer, you are the thinker, and someone is saying, don't think, do what I say. Okay. You cannot survive that. Okay. So this is how this swadharma and paradharma, right? I mean, this is where, like, ashrama dharma and varna dharma. Varna and ashrama dharmas these are different for different people. Okay. Now,
In Ramayana, there are example of this is
you know, Vibhishan was supposed to be Sattvic, and Ravana was Rajasic, and Kumbhakarna was the Tamasic guy.
Yes.
There's one example.
Right. Vishnu was Satvik, Ravana was the example of Rajoguna, and Kumbhakarna is example of Tamoguna. Yes, that is correct. Yes, sir. Yeah. Now, then this Swadharma, what happens is that there are certain guna irrespective of who we are. Okay? Irrespective of who we are, there are certain dharmas that are common to all of us. Okay? What are these dharmas that are common to us?
Obligatory duties that we have to take care of our own self and our families. I mean, you are
those are our duties, yes. But in this case, what happens is that what we are saying is that this is a slightly different angle, Chanji.
Yeah.
We are Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Because we are Sat Swarupa, Sat is the nature of existence, and this body exists. Okay, this body is a primary example of existence. So, no matter whether are whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmacharya, or Grihastha, or Vanaprastha, or Sannyasa, it doesn't matter. What happens is that we have to keep this body healthy with proper actions, proper diet, and proper sleep. Okay, because when we cannot keep this body healthy, what can we do? Nothing. Okay, so that because maintaining my health means like with this all our proper not like I'm obese, hence I'm going to take that. What is the new trend is GLP-1 tablets. Okay. I take GLP-1 tablets and lose weight. That is not healthy thing. Okay, that is not maintaining health. Maintaining health means, okay, so you do proper exercise, eat properly, and sleep properly, right? So that is what. Right? And then similarly, we are Chit Swarupa. Chit, where is Chit is more prominent, not at the physical body level, but at the mind and intellect level. So ensuring that our intellect is performing right things, okay, is our Chit Swarupa Dharma. And how do we ensure that our mind is right? We have to do self-studies, Swadhyaya. Okay? Because whether you are sannyasi or grihastha or vanaprastha or brahmachari, you have to do some level of self-studies to understand your own true nature. Okay? And you have to be in satsanga. Okay? You have to do dhyana, you have to do vichara. This is all for what? This is for to ensure your chaitanya swarupa, your chit swarupa is maintained properly. Meaning it's not like your chit swarupa, yes, but that is expressed properly. Okay? So that is our dharma with respect to our chit swarupa dharma. Okay? Now, we are Ananda Swarupa. Okay. Now, because we are Ananda Swarupa, that means what? I must have cheerful attitude, cheerful demeanor all the time. Puja Gurudev would say, says, keep smiling. Right? That is the Ananda Swarupa Dharma. So now these dharmas that we just talked about, this is independent of Varnashrama dharmas. Okay? It is applicable for all beings. Right? Now, so now if that is the case, what is adharma? So anything, okay, anything which divides us is adharma. So which divides means what? Which compares. Last week I attended one discourse by Swami X. The week prior to that, I attended lecture by Swami Y. So X is okay, but Y is better. No, that kind of a comparison. It is not regarding just the Swamins or something like that. Like wherever we go, we see people, we start comparing, like with that Veda Buddhi comes. That differentiating, that is adharma. Okay? Why? Why is it adharma? Because what is our
nature.
essential nature is Sat Chit Ananda, and that Sat also means existence, Sat means truth, and Sat also represents infinitude. Okay? And that infinitude includes everything. And that is Advaita. There is no second. So when there is no second, how are you breaking this oneness into 2 or 3 or 4 and seeing? That is adharma. Okay? And that adharma, what happens is when this Bheda Buddhi comes, okay, then what happens is that from that Bheda Buddhi, Raga, Dvesha comes. Once you differentiated, once you broke that infinitude, that akhanda, okay, that oneness, that advaita, that non-duality, that is one, and you broke into 2, okay, or more, then what happens? Automatically you like something and you dislike something, you prefer something, you don't prefer something. So then what happened? 2 babies are born, Raga and Dvesha. So, and then now, now what happens? You don't like something, but it is coming. Okay. And then what you try to do? You try to pass it on to somebody else. Okay. Because you don't want to hold it. Okay. You don't want to hold something that you dislike. So then what are you going to do? You are going to give it to somebody else or something else. Okay. So how are you going to do it? There, 2 other things will come. What? Chala, kapata.
Oh,
Okay. Deceit or duplicity. Okay. And you give it to somebody else. Okay. Then if you have like not a Chaitanya consciousness you're talking about, but you say like, do you have any consciousness? Or like, we'll say, right? Okay. So that kind of a, in Vyavaharika we say, right? Okay. Don't you have any consciousness? Okay. Don't you, right? So if you have that kind of a thing, then you have a guilt, and then you will have Ashanti and Dukkha, unrest and sorrow. Okay. And if you try to give it to somebody and they did not take and they are holding it, then you have Ashanti and Dukkha. Okay. So these are all the babies of adharma. Okay. Maybe I should not say babies. Okay. These are all born out of adharma because babies kind of sometimes feel cute and nice.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Great.
Swadharma. So then what is Swadharma again? It is a conduct, okay? It like with respect to our body, it is a diet and conduct that is aligned with our physical health, study and reflection aligned with our intellect, okay, and our ananda with our state, right? And having that where this ananda is not dependent on anything or anybody else, that where the our Atma's expression of Satchit Ananda is coming in and through our BMI, that is Swadharma. Anything opposing to that is Paradharma. Now, this Paradharma Bhayavaha, okay, this Paradharma is Bhayavaha. If it is so, if your Swadharma is dharma of basically when we said Sadharma or Chit Dharma or Ananda Dharma, what you're talking about Brahma Dharma. You are Brahman and as a Dharma of Brahman. Okay. So okay, that is as a Brahman, that is your Swadharma because like that is something that you are. But then if Swadharma is related to Brahman, Paradharma is related to Prakriti, Maya. Okay. So if you fall into this Maya, okay, if you take this body, say for example, this is Anatma, this body is Anatma, and this body has got Shed Vikaras, six Vikaras, right? Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Apakshiyate, Viparinamate, and Vinashyate, right? From birth to growth to maturation to decay and death, all of that. If I'm thinking that that is real and I'm trying to think that that is my body, that is me, then what will I have? I'll have fear of disease, I have fear of old age and all of that. So in this context, Shreyan Swadharma Vigunaham, okay, it is understanding what is adharma, and this adharma is not on a like it. If you think adharma as a tree, it has got 5 branches. Okay, or like there are 5 classifications. It can be classified into 5 parts. What are those? One is called as vidharma is one. Okay, vidharma. Paradharma is second. Paradharma itself is second. Then abhasa is third. Abhasa. Upama, not upma, upama. Okay, upama is fourth and chala is fifth.
And these are the branches of what now?
Adharma, sorry, paradharma.
Oh, branch.
Or adharma itself, sorry. Adharma's branches are 5. Vidharma, paradharma, abhasa, upama, chala. Okay, so now what? So like we'll do a simple example of each, right? So dharmavadho vidharmasya, that is the definition. Okay, so that means what happens is that you you take over others' duty and you don't let other people do their duty. That is vidharma.
Oh.
Okay, so that means what? Say for example, you know, like especially like in Chinmaya Mission, you will see that sometimes Guruji has come or someone has come, right? And now after the thing, like after Guruji's discourse, Guruji is walking slowly, and someone wants to go and ask a question, and they're going and they're about to ask a question. Guruji, Namaste, my name is so and so. I want to ask you a question. And then suddenly someone comes in between and says, "Oh, Guruji, you remember like I'm Venkat. We met back in Boston." Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Swami, Guruji, I have this question. And then if I start talking like that, cutting that person off, that is vidharma, because I have obstructed their thing. Okay. So this is one kind of adharma. Now, paradharma anya choditaha. Paradharmo anya choditaha. That means what? A task that is assigned to you, I try to do that. Okay. Because he cannot do this task. So I'll take over. Right? So that is paradharma. So for example, like our country is governed by politicians, right? And these politicians are duly elected, democratically elected politicians. Now, I mean, like, when I say our country, I'm not talking about, I mean, of course, US is our country. But in my mind, I was thinking about Bharat.
Ah.
Okay. So now there are problems when our political leaders were not great. There were times when political leaders were great, but we gave the power to those political leaders and we trusted them. And if they did not do well, we changed them. Now, in our adjacent country, in our neighboring country there, to Bharat, army would say, these guys, these politicians don't know anything, let us take over, and they try to rule. We put military rule, and they either rule by proxy or explicitly. They are meant to fight wars and protect borders. They are not meant to pass law and regulation, rule of law. Okay. So then see the progress of our neighboring country and our country. Okay. So what? That is the example of paradharma. We also spoke about, like the some Akhandanandaji's example, right? That a traffic cop going to hospital or a doctor coming and trying to take over traffic. These are all examples of paradharma, right? So we all must take our own thing. Now there is a for this in this particular case, say for example, like uh, I am not a warrior. Okay, as an example. Okay, so I don't do anything related to war, like I don't do anything of a soldier's job. But however, in case of emergency, in case of apat dharma, okay, if the country is in trouble, then all citizens, no matter what our guna, karmas, etc., we are supposed to protect the country. At that time, this apat dharma is there. At that time, this paradharma is exempted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, then we go to
Awesome.
abhasa. Okay. Now, abhasa is kind of like I'm doing almost right. Okay. Almost right means what? Say, for example, you're doing a vrata. Now, vrata, what happened is that it said you need to feed 10 people. Okay. Now, majority of the times, whether it is implicit or explicit, if it says feed 10 people, we should feed 10 people who could not eat otherwise. Okay, who don't get food otherwise. Now, as part of this puja, it said feed 10 people. So I'm going to call Chanji and Atulji and family, and then Hinaji and Ravi, etc., right? And there you go, okay, these are the 10 people and I fed all the 10 people. That is not dharma. Okay? It appears as dharma. Okay? It has an illusion of, yes, 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 I check mark. I did it for 10 people. But these 10 people get food anyway.
Yes.
These guys are not hungry for food. Okay, they are not the people who should be getting. The people who should be getting is someone who otherwise who don't get food. Okay, so here that charity, what we did is as a party.
Mm.
Now that party, now what happens now? See, here is the thing. Atulji called me for dinner 2 months ago. Of course, I went and ate. Okay. And then he also called me 1 month ago. Yes. He also called me last week. Now, 3 times he called. I should call him now. Okay. So at least now I should call him. So what happened is that in this kind of a thing, okay, what happens is that just because I called and I fed all of my friends, there is a hook attached in this, an invisible hook attached, where my friends need to invite me for food again for one reason or other reason. So what happened? Whatever I fed this friend, he repaid me. So where is the charity to begin with?
True.
Okay. So now in this example, you see, like doing, feeding 10 people. Yes, I fed 10 of my friends. It appeared as dharma, but it is not dharma. So that illusory appearance is called abhasa.
Mm.
Okay. Now, upama. Upama is like you also heard this upama, whereas upamana. Upamana means analogy. Okay, so this is also analogy only. Upama. What is that? The this actor. Okay, this actor did a nose job or a eyes job or got rid of his tummy tuck, whatever. Okay, so got this and he looks much cooler and better. So I will also do this. Now, what is right for them is not necessarily right for me. Right? See, for example, you go to a gym. Okay? Like let's say I go to a gym. Now, I'm a frail person. I mean, like I'm not frail, but okay.
For example, yeah.
Okay. So now there is this guy who comes, who's like who's like a 300-pound guy, like fully like a what you call as ripped, right? And he lifts this weight, I don't know, maybe 200 pounds, 500 pounds, whatever, and does like, it would be like a toy in his thing. And like he does the 5 repetitions or 10 repetitions and put there and he casually walks away. Now, he did it, so I want to do it. If I go and try to do it, what happens? I'll break my hands. Of course, first of all, like I won't be able to pick it up. But if for whatever reason, if I was able to pick it up, it will fall on my back and then I'll be gone for life.
Yes.
Okay. So this is upama. So what is right for them, not necessarily right for me. Okay. Don't decide your dharma looking at somebody else. Okay. Without understanding the principle. Okay. Without understanding the principle means for his weight, okay, he is 3 pounds, he is 300 pounds and he lifted 400 pounds. I'm 150 pounds. So I should probably try for 200 pounds. But on the other hand, like I'm not as healthy as him, so maybe I should try for 100 pounds or 50 pounds. Start there. Okay. So that is the level of understanding I should have. I should understand the principle, but not just copy. So in in Panchatantra there will be a story where when a tiger goes, all uh, animals are scared and runs away. So when the fox goes, no animal is scared. So because the tiger has got those stripes, everybody is scared. So I also want to get stripes. So then it goes and it tries to get how does it get stripes? Go and get those burn marks all over her body. Okay, and so that's the story in Panchatantra. So don't be like that.
Yes.
So then chal is
Deceit, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So then what happens is that now what happens, say for example, you have something in mind, but you do it with some other intent. Okay. Your intent is different and your action is different. Okay. So your intent is different and your action is different means what? Let us say uh, I'll take the example, like I'll take Atulji, you as an example, okay? From
Absolutely.
your home, I'm going to take you as an example, okay? So you'll be the bad person in this example, okay? Now, you're about 50, like, you're almost 50 minutes away from Andover, right?
Yes.
So you come to see Chanji in Andover, okay? You came and met. And because you met Chanji, etc., and then right there is Chinmay Mission within 2 minutes drive from there. You also went to Chinmay Mission. There you saw the priest and you say, yeah, I want to come to Chinmay Mission for a long time. Finally, today I decided I want to come no matter what. And hence, here I am.
I see, I see, I see.
Okay. So the reality is, of course, you are there.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. But the intention was, okay, the intention was not that you wanted to go to temple. Your intention was to go to uh, Chanji's house. You only went there because, oh, it happened to be right next door. But you claim that I wanted to visit mission at the temple after long. Okay, I'm meaning to us going. I was thinking about this temple for so long. Today I decided no matter what, I want to come and see. So when we twist that, that is chala.
Mhm.
Okay. Now this chala, what happens is where we use chala mostly without our knowledge is when we talk to our kids. All of
Mm.
this, why do you think I'm working so much, so hard for you guys, for you? Okay, that is basically chala because if you want to earn more money, obviously there are options, but you chose your own happiness to choose a job where you are happy.
Yes.
Okay, so that means, and you stayed in that job as long as you are happy. The moment you are unhappy in that job, you found another job. So if that is the case, why do we have to bring our kids and say, because of you guys, I'm working all of this. Okay, all of this is meant for you. No, okay, we do all of that for ourselves. So that is a like example of chala where we don't even realize that it is chala.
Mhm.
Okay, so
We justify.
huh?
We justify that we did something, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's
Okay.
typical
So,
human kind of nature. What can you do? You
yeah.
have to.
Okay. So, therefore, okay, This paradharma, which is opposite to our swadharma, okay, we should not do it. Okay. Now, in this particular case, why this shloka is coming here is also an important part. Okay. This shloka is coming here because what does Arjuna want to do? Arjuna wants to
Escape the fight. He doesn't want to
he
fight.
wants to become a gnani. He wants to go on Jnana Marga.
Yeah.
So Bhagavan is saying, hey,
Can't
your
run away.
mind is not yet ripe for that. Okay. So you cannot enter sannyasa yet. Okay. So now you're trying to do paradharma. Okay. Your dharma is, even if it is terrible, okay, you have to work in this path alone. Okay. Hence, even if you are unable to do properly, it doesn't matter. Okay. Shreyan Swadharma. Viguna api. Viguna means even if you cannot properly do it, it will still help me grow and evolve. Okay. So, therefore, Swadharmo Nidhanam Shreyaha. So, this dharma alone is going to help you. Why? Because our Karma Yoga will lead to purity of mind, and because of the purity of mind, we'll get Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, and from there we go to Sama, Dhi, Vasana, Kshaya, Manonasha, and eventually Aporoksha Jnana. Okay, so stick to your journey, don't do anything else. Okay, oh, look at that. Like, actually, I didn't even realize the time is way past. So,
Yeah.
okay, so sorry about that. Okay. So,
Great explanation. That's really helps.
yeah, so it is Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharman Anustitat Swadharmo Nidhanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhayavaha. So we must do our duty, okay, based on what? See, okay, so we talked about Swadharma for all of us, which is common for all of us, as Sat Dharma, as Chit Dharma, as Ananda Dharma. Those we must do automatically, no matter who we are. In addition to that, we must do the Dharma based upon our Varna and Ashrama. Okay, so here, Varna in a modern context, think about your job. Okay, so whatever job that you are in, you perform that job properly. Don't try to do other jobs. Okay, even at work, if you try to other department's job, you'll get yelled at. Okay, so that's it.
Excellent.
Yes, so shall we conclude then?
Yes.
Yeah. But before I don't want to be here on 9th also. I have to go away on 9th. So I don't know, is it better to sort of take a break for a little while and then, because this
Let us do the prayer and let us do the prayer and discuss.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Om. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम